Hello, everyone. I'm really happy to be with you this afternoon. I'd like to take the first moment and just talk about the word purpose. Purpose keeps us grounded. It keeps us centered. It also provides us a direction in which to move forward to. When we look at the Latin root of purpose, those first three letters, the P-U-R, those actually are translated into the word fire. And so I'm excited to be here to share with you a little bit about my purpose, and I have 3 wishes for you today. One wish is that I will inspire you to look to your own purpose, and if you feel you don't have that fire yet, then focus on that spark, and it will become a fire for you. My second wish is that you will see how each of you individually can play a role in transforming and impacting global health for generations to come. My third wish is a personal wish. My mom passed away with cancer last year, and today's my first birthday without her. And I am looking forward to spending that with you and having the opportunity to be here and make a difference. So thank you. We're going to be looking at relationships, capacity, and global health. And I have more information than what the time is allotted for me today. So I will be leapfrogging over parts of it. Focusing on relationships, we all know that social isolation decreases health. There are more issues with all kinds of health problems when people are socially isolated. So I want to look at the affect that we can have on one another in the relationships. And what affect is it's the biological response that we have. And there are, as complex as we are, there are only 9 affects that we each have. And before every emotional experience that you have, it's preceded by one of those 9 affects. And wouldn't you know it, that out of those 9 affects, there are only 2 that are positive. And one is neutral. Positive is the joy, the excitement. The neutral one is surprise. And the rest are negative affects. And so negative ones being grief, shame. Shame is one of my favorite ones. Anger. So we need to look at all of those affects and the biological consequences that we're having on ourselves as well as on those that we're interacting with and the ramifications that those can have. And what's interesting is that the biological affects, they are contagious. So when I just shared my third wish about wanting to be here and honor my mom today, I could see some of you actually tear up. So I'm having an impact on you biologically, and we need to be aware of that. In terms of taking those affects, and if you think about that, we oftentimes work in groups or teams of people, and we're competitive in nature, and that often leads to negative feelings and outcomes. And if we're going to truly collaborate on an authentic level, then you're going to see a lot more positive affects occurring from that. So your individual capacity is going to increase as well as the collective capacity of the group. And we'll just all be healthier in the long run for it. And then resiliency I want to talk a little bit about as well, because I've been kicking this around for a while, and resiliency does tend to kick back, and so we've been wrestling a little bit more with that. And when I looked resiliency up, I was surprised to see the definition. Resiliency is it's to bounce back. It is to endure shock and not suffer permanent damage, permanent deformation. Well, I want more than resiliency for myself, and you all deserve more than resiliency. So when I think about flourishing and thriving, that's about growing luxuriantly. And the word flourishing actually translated into Latin, it means to bloom. And I know that my mom would want me to bloom. She wouldn't just want me to be resilient. And we all deserve more than just resiliency. So I used to be a big fan of resiliency, and I'm really not anymore, because I don't want to just bounce back. I want to transform and grow and develop personally and with others. behavioral epigenetics, all that is, the epi means beyond, so beyond genetics. So we all know that toxins and nutrients can affect and change our genes permanently. And when a methyl group of molecules attaches to that gene, it attaches to the center, the control center, and it switches that off. And so what that means is that you're altering that gene without actually changing the DNA sequence. And so I think that the affect acts like the toxin or the nutrient. It can be very positive or it can be negative. And I think that as we increase our awareness about that, we can increase our health globally as well as individually. It's been proven through rats scientifically that those genetic transformations actually go for many generations. So something that I'm impacted by today in my life will transfer not just to my offspring, but their offspring and their offspring and their offspring. And so my hope for today is that you would be more aware of the own affect that you're experiencing and what you're doing with that affect, as well as the impact that you're having on those around you and what that's doing to their affect experience. And as I close, I would like you all to take time to think about what your purpose truly is and look at the thread throughout your life and how that's woven and where you've ended up today and why. And as you're doing that, bear in mind that if you are not standing in your own purpose, that you're standing in someone else's.